I want to talk about. I called her, I was like, you remember that thing you had in your back pocket? Like, I need it. Yeah, get it out. Yeah. So, Jewl Rozanski, I'm not going to do the joke, lives in Mars, Pennsylvania, with her husband, daughter, and she just adopted another dog and her pets. Jules has a bachelor's degree in secondary education and a master's degree in educational psychology. She taught Spanish for 14 years, which gave her the opportunity to discover two of her true loves, making a difference for people and travel. She is the co-owner of Cultured Travel, which she runs full-time, and it offers group travel experiences under the totally appropriate slogan of epic experiences in spectacular places with awesome people. That sounds so much like Jewl, for sure. Jewl discovered spiritualism around 2008 and really started a deep dive into it in 2010. She became an ordained minister with the Church Living Spirit in 2014 and was also elected to the church board that same year. She currently serves as our vice president, and she is a member of the Lilydale Assembly. And I've told the story before that when I first came into the Church Living Spirit, Jewl was chairing that day, and I took the philosophy class the same day. We connected on a deep level even that day, and she's one of my best friends. I just adore her. Without her and our board, I'm telling you, this church runs like a smooth operating machine. And it's all to the foundational that you put, Sherry Lee, honestly, and Emmy and Patricia Price. And we continue to hold no drama, no politics, and only hold at this church in loving kindness. So without further ado, Jewl Rozanski.
Good morning, everyone. It's so exciting to see so many familiar faces and also new faces, and just so many faces on a sunny, beautiful day here in Lilydale. So it's definitely great. So what I had in my back pocket and what I'm going to talk about today is something that I think is deeply unique and personal to each of us, but yet something that's universally relatable, and those are core memories. So core memories are moments that shape us, they define us, they stay with us, often for a lifetime. And the idea of core memories, the title Core Memories, is inspired from the concepts of the 2015 movie Inside Out, which some of you may have seen. If you haven't, I highly advise it, even if you are not a kid watching a cartoon. But that movie is fantastic. So core memories, again, are those formative experiences. They can be joyful, they can be painful, but they really make up the very fabric of who we are. Those core memories, they make up the fabric of who we are. So I'd like to start with a question for you, and I want you to take just a moment to think about it. What are some of the memories that make up your story? Some of the core memories that make up your story. What are they? Core memories aren't just snapshots of your past. They're not just those flash bulbs of images that you might remember from various points in time throughout your life, but these are truly the lens through which you view the world around you. Core memories shape your perspective, they shape your decisions, they even shape your relationships. Some memories are big, right? They're obvious milestones that just about everybody goes through, like maybe finishing high school or college or getting married or having a child. All big things, all memories that are going to be a part of us for life. But other ones are quieter, but perhaps just as impactful, and might also change the trajectory of who we are. They could be things like a conversation that changed your mindset, a moment of unexpected kindness, maybe even a time of struggle that taught you resilience. Anais Nin said, "We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are." I'm going to repeat that one. We don't see things as they are, we see them as we are. It's all of those memories and experiences that shape us and how we perceive events and things around us. These core memories influence how we interpret the entire world, how we respond to people and events and challenges. And you might have two people experience the same exact event, or witness the same thing, or meet the same person, and have completely different takes on those events and those people based upon their own core memories, their own past experiences, and the lens through which they see the world. In our early years, we're really passengers on the train of life, right? A lot of our core memories are formed during childhood and when we were passengers on that train of life that we just didn't control. Whenever there's a therapy session that you see on TV or anything else, and probably in real life too, it's always, well, in your childhood. Everybody's digging into your childhood, right? When those memories were formed, when we were passing through landscapes that we didn't choose, our family dynamics, our environment, and the world events happening around us. I was pretty lucky that I had some pretty great family dynamics, I have to say. But my parents are here today. Truly. I don't really have too much time. Anyway, but really, when you're kids, I worked with kids for 14 years, you don't get to choose the house you were born into. You don't get to choose the parents you were born to, the grandparents you were born to, the state you were born in, the country you were born in. You don't get to choose any of that. So you're really just passengers on that train. Now, maybe in a higher plane, and we could get into that, right? Maybe we did choose it somewhere. But anyway, for the purpose of keeping to my topic here, we just roll through what we've got, right? But the good news is, once you reach a certain age, you're not just a passenger anymore. And one of the things I love about spiritualism is personal responsibility. We believe in personal responsibility and that each individual creates their own reality according to natural law. And that is probably my absolute favorite principle. Because as adults, we get to take the wheel. We can be the conductor. We can create new core memories at any age. We can broaden our horizons. We can step out of our comfort zones, and we can actively shape the story and the lens that we see our world through. Some of our core memories are blessings. Others, not so much, right? Releasing what no longer serves you is not an easy task. Maybe you're holding on to memories that you can't seem to forget that instill fear or embarrassment or feelings of unworthiness. And perhaps it's time to dig in and do the work to let those memories go. Sometimes forgiving does have a little bit of an element of forgetting to it as well. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. That's another one I'd like to repeat. You can't start the next chapter of your life if you keep rereading the last one. Holding on to painful memories and continuously reliving them and rehashing them can take up space in you that could be filled with something better. Sometimes the absolute hardest work any of us can have to do is to shatter the narratives that we replay, those memories that just play out in our mind that no longer serve us. For example, you may have experienced failure at some point in your life. But that failure, that memory of failure, doesn't have to define you. It can be used as fuel for you to grow through, for you to decide to try again, and for you to prove to yourself that you are capable of more. I think core memories often have a generational perspective too, because each generation has its own set of experiences that cause memories within them that shaped the world they grew up in. So if you think about the Great Depression, I'm a big World War II history lover, and we call that the greatest generation. Probably because if you think of the core memories of those people, these experiences that they had, and World War II and just everything that led in from the 30s and 40s and into the 50s, look at the resilience that had to be built from experiencing things that are just so incredibly difficult. And as a generation, as a whole, they lived through those things, and now they're known as the greatest generation. For our current generations, we can think of things like the technological explosion. I see a big difference in people my age and younger just based on the availability of information from the internet. And we can also look at other generations that are more recent and think of the shared trauma of the global pandemic and the social isolation that happened from that too. So these are all experiences that generations have that shaped their view on the world and might be, again, dwelling within them. So the details might change generation to generation, person to person, but I really believe that the themes of memories and what all of us consider core memories are pretty much the same. Love, loss, fear, hope, generosity, and perseverance. I consider these to be the threads that connect us all as humans. I love going to other countries and meeting other people who are from there and live there and broadening my horizons in that way. And I can tell you those threads connect every single human. They're not unique to anyone. In addition to our own core memories, here's a thought for you. What role are you playing in the creation of these crucial memories for other people? If you think back on your most meaningful experiences, the chances are they involve people. I doubt that they happened in a bubble or just out in the woods somewhere or in a canyon. They involve people, and more than likely they involve the kindness of people, the love of people, the presence of people for you, both in joyful and difficult times. The backdrop might have been a beautiful place where this memory happened, or maybe not so much. But it's the people who make those memories stick within you. Mother Teresa said, if you judge people, you have no time to love them. That's probably one you're familiar with and one I absolutely love. If you judge people, you have no time to love them. You're not getting to know them. You're not getting to understand their stories, their core memories, and interpret how they are and how their lens of viewing the world came to be. You have to take the time to know someone and to hear their story to be able to love them. Are we too quick to judge others? Are we too quick to dismiss people who just seem to be different from us? What if instead we chose to look for those connections, those common threads of humanity over judgment? What if we became a source of positive core memories for others? Whether they're friends, strangers, or even enemies. Build the bridge, have the conversations, try to understand the lenses that other people view their world through. Failing to do that will likely assist in the failure to experience genuine growth or progress. Change is not going to happen by disparaging remarks, using blanket labels for large groups of people, or belittling others that are different. What those things certainly may do, though, is help create memories and an energy that nobody really wants and no one wants to hold on to. Some of you who know me know that in 2020, during the pandemic, on the 10th anniversary of my brother-in-law's death, I got a tattoo on my arm that says, "Beyond fear lies freedom." We live in a world absolutely inundated by fear. I can't tell you how annoyed I have become at every time I just even turn on my computer. Nothing more than turning it on, because then you have the, this homepage screen that comes up. And just seeing messages of fear blasted at us all of the time. It's astounding to me. In my travels, I've been to Egypt several times, and I honestly have to say, Egypt I have experienced as being one of the places where the people are the warmest, the most friendly, the most kind, and happy to see Americans. The other day, I turned on my computer. I just had a group of friends do 2 tours over there a month ago. Turn on the computer. The headline: places where Americans are not wanted, with a picture of the pyramids in the background. I don't know where that person got their information, but some lens that they saw it through, it's definitely not my experience. But we're given these messages of fear, often without basis. Fear of people who don't look like us, fear of people who don't think like us, fear of people who have different cultures and don't live like us. But fear is a thief. It steals our peace, it steals our joy, it steals our ability to connect with others and find that common ground. One of my dearest friends and mentors, Lynn Wiltsey, who many of you know, she passed away about a year ago, told me that fear stood for false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real. How much fear that we get thrown at us is really just that. It's false evidence. And it might seem like great evidence, but it's false evidence. It certainly can look real, but it's false evidence appearing real. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you react to this, to react to it. So I used to always tell my students this when I taught. I even had a poster in my room that had the outline of a person and said things I can control, and inside it had my reactions, my actions, my words, and outside it had other people's opinions and other people's actions and words and thoughts and things like that. There's only so much that is in our wheel of control, truly. So I try to look at things and decide what is in my control, what is actually in my control. My reactions are, my words are. Then I try to think about situations. Can I do something about it? Can I make a positive change? Am I equipped to do what I want to do and make the change I want to do? And what is my likelihood of being able to be successful? How should I approach it? And if I'm approaching something with love and integrity and honesty, and not from some sense of superiority or ego, and I think, okay, if I don't do something about this, is it going to wear on me until I can't stand it anymore? Then I need to act. But there are other things that I have to say, there's not much I can do about that. I can send it love and light and move on. Because you don't want your peace to be stolen any more than it has to be. And you don't want to give away your peace any more than we already naturally do. So think about things and think about what's in your control. If it's other people, how other people are acting and treating you, can you have a conversation? Are you having that conversation from a place of honesty and integrity? Can you make a change? If not, like Emmy always said, we're going to deal with DPs, difficult people. You've got to love them, but you can love them from a distance. That's okay. When we let fear dictate our actions, we miss out on the beauty of life. Again, beyond fear lies freedom. The freedom to live boldly and to love deeply and to create memories that matter. One of the songs I love is Count Your Blessings. Every core memory is a blessing, even the super hard ones. Even the painful ones. They're blessings because life is a blessing. And getting to experience this life and all of the emotions and all of the different things within it is a blessing. The struggles you've faced have made you stronger. I love the quote I heard one time that said, you have 100% track record of success up to this point in time. Well, you do, because you're still here. So you've survived every difficult memory and every difficult moment. You've lived through it. You've done it. So those struggles you faced, they made you stronger. The joys you've experienced have filled your heart. They give you something that you can always look back on and live through in times that you are struggling. And the connections that you've made with others have helped you grow. They've made you laugh. They've made you feel loved. And again, even if they weren't positive, they've helped you grow in some way. One of the things I love the most about my job now is getting, of course, to travel the world and see cool things, but it's not that. It's about the people I get to meet. And it's about those moments of just sitting around a dinner table or sitting around sharing a drink and sharing stories, sharing our lives together and understanding the lenses that we all see the world through. I love it. It's my favorite thing. You control your mind, you control your world. Don't let negativity take up too much headspace. When it does, try to flood it with gratitude to the best of your ability. Choose to see the beauty in the ordinary. Ordinary is where we live most of the time. There's beauty in all of it. When you're in the ordinary, look for the beauty. Don't get stuck in being bored or in ruts. Find the beauty in everything. Choose to create memories that bring light into your life and the lives of others. So what is standing in the way of creating the life and those core memories that you want? Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's self-doubt. Maybe it's the belief that it's just too late to change who you are and how you are and through what perspective you see the world. But here's my truth for you, and I hope it's your truth too. It's never too late. It is never too late. You've been given this one life, and again, we could have another conversation about that. There might be a ton of them, right? But the one you're sitting in right now, in this, bodysuit right here, you've been given that one for this moment in time to experience this life. So fill it with meaning, take that chance and fill it with love, and fill it with adventure. You don't need a better choice. Because this is what you've got. This is your choice. You have choices in front of you every minute. So choose awesome. Beyond fear lies freedom. Life is short. Make it sweet. And your core memories are blessings. Every single one of them. Because life is a blessing. So now I want you to go out there and live a life that's worth remembering. Create memories that bring joy and deepen your connections, and inspire gratitude within you and others. And don't forget to share those memories with others, because it's in sharing that we broaden our horizons and we enrich our lives. Thank you.